Welcome in, everybody, to episode 12 of season 2 of Stirring the Pot. We are all back, and we are all here, and we are all alive. This is being recorded the day after Halloween. So happy Halloween to those who celebrate. It better be all of you guys. But we've got the normal cast. We got Dom over here. We got John, RJ, Gabe, and myself. Before we get into a little bit of AP poll talk, I think we're going to skip a bit of a recap this week, because we've got a big episode for you guys. It's going to be a bit of a long one, probably. But, gentlemen, how are we feeling?
Excited to hear everybody's great NFL takes. I'm really excited for especially one man's takes, Mr. Gabe Shones. I'm excited.
I mean, I want a disclaimer. Can I have a disclaimer before we get started? You said power rankings. Did they know the power rankings? This is the quickest quack we're ever going to get, other than Dom's first ever episode. The NFC West and the whatever you want to call John's division right now is a show. And
you mean the Bills?
Everyone,
the Bills and them.
Everyone's beating up each other, so I went off of who could possibly beat each other. Despite I didn't look at record, it's just who I think has the best chance of beating who.
So we're all kind of similar here in criteria then, like coaching, like what team is clearly the best. Like I imagine it like getting punched in the face. Which team is going to punch me in the face the hardest? That's how I think about it.
Yeah, honestly. And it's going to be a lot like last year, probably. It's going to be a bit of a dogfight talking about all of these rankings, mostly when we get to like the middle of the pack and the top. But the bottom of it is going to get kind of fun, because all the teams at the bottom, you can kind of put them anywhere, and they're really bad. They're really, really bad. But before we get into that, we're going to skip some recap for college football last week. It wasn't really too exciting of a week. We do have Ohio State, Penn State coming up this week, so make sure to check that out. They put it at noon, which is absolutely egregious. Penn State supporters are actually trying to boycott that, which I am in full support.
Do you want Gus Johnson? That's why it's at noon.
Yeah, but do you really want number 3 Penn State to play number 4 Ohio State in Beaver Stadium whiteout at 12 p.m.?
Because
it's not the whiteout, is it? I don't think it was.
I think it is the whiteout.
I thought Washington was the whiteout. I swear it's Washington.
Illinois
was them being. Not going to say it. Illinois was them trying to have a whiteout because, oh my God, Illinois is actually a good team? What?
It was the, quote, whiteout energy, according to James Franklin. Yeah, okay, that's the only reason you won that game. But let's go into the AP poll, obviously starting from 25 to 1. We've got a few new faces, and we've got a few faces that really, really don't belong here. Number 25, Mizzou, hanging on by a thread. Same with number 24, Illinois. 23, Colorado. 22, Washington State. 21, Army, hanging in for the Armed Forces, 7-0. Number 20, SMU. Number 19, Ole Miss. Number 18, I don't want to say this team's name, Pitt. Number 17, Kansas State. Number 16, LSU. Number 15, Boise State, staying up there. Number 14, Bama, climbing back up the rankings. Number 13, staying steady, Indiana. And 2 teams tied at 11. We've got Clemson and Iowa State, who still remain undefeated somehow. And then we go into the top 10 with number 10, Texas A&M. Welcome back. Number 9, BYU. Number 8, Notre Dame. Number 7, Tennessee. Number 6, Texas. Number 5, Miami, finally cracking the top 5. And the top 4 stay exactly the same. Number 4, Ohio State. Number 3, Penn State. Number 2, Georgia. Number 1, Oregon. Gentlemen, what are our thoughts?
I don't think there's too many thoughts for this week's AP poll. I think kind of obviously everything was happening. I think the biggest jump and biggest drop would be the biggest jump of A&M and Notre Dame at four spots each. So A&M getting back in the top 10 along with Notre Dame. And then LSU dropping 8 spots. I think that's detrimental to them, getting them in the middle of the pack. Probably going to try to fight for their playoff lives.
Yeah, Mizzou's kind of like Michigan here. Like they're hanging on by a thread into this top 25, and I'm sure by next week they'll be let go of. Washington State kind of surprised me. I thought it was Washington, and I got excited. Then I saw Washington State. Other than that, not a lot of changes. But this Ohio State-Penn State game could have a little bit of an impact into that top 5 spot.
I totally agree, and that's going to be a big I said this a few weeks ago. This kind of feels like an AP poll where it's kind of like the calm before the storm because you have that big game next week. It's going to determine a pretty seismic shift depending on who wins and loses that game. But I think the biggest story from this AP poll is the number 23 ranked Colorado Buffaloes kind of quietly creeping in there to many people's surprise. They haven't really been in the media as much as they were for the first year and over the first few weeks of the season, but they've played some consistently solid football for a while now. Beating UCF, keeping it close versus Kansas State, beating Cincy and Arizona, and just playing good football. How do you feel about the Colorado Buffaloes being ranked right now?
John, I feel like you're. I mean, you did dress up as Deion Sanders last night.
I was.
And this is kind of true. So I'm gonna say that you favor them for some reason that you kind of dressed up as them. I don't know. And they also played Baylor this year, which is kind of just, I don't know. That just really throws me off. Baylor. I mean, I'm not going to say they deserve to be here, but at the same time, they've earned their right to be here.
I mean, 23 feels kind of rich because they haven't really. I think if they had won that Kansas State game, they'd be a bit more deserving of it. I mean, that Nebraska loss still looks bad because Nebraska's kind of fallen off from being ranked early in the year. But they don't really play a terrible schedule going up. They play Texas Tech, Utah, Colorado, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. So they could, I mean, if we see some struggles from BYU, they could make the Big 12 championship. They have a chance to make a run at that.
They have a good chance. Like, you listed that schedule, and I think the Big 12, this whole entire top 25, this whole entire graphic will change drastically next week. I want that to be known. I mean, this is a year where you have the former number 1 team all the way down to 14, Notre Dame, who's been in the top 5, the barely in the top 20 and back into the top 10, all in the same year of like 4 weeks. You've got a random Penn State squad who's kind of just like a tourist watching everything happen and just proceeding on their goodwill up to number 3. I mean, Oregon's number 1, a team that everyone thought was going to be a top 5 team, but never number 1. I mean, Georgia's been all over the top 10. This is a crazy poll, and what a better year to have the 12 playoff team. Could you imagine if it was still 4 playoff teams with this type of madness?
Someone will probably get FSU'd, is the sad part, if we still had the 4 format. But it's going to be a fun year, and a lot of these teams have just beat up on each other, especially that triangle of Bama, Georgia, Texas. It's been kind of dogfighting each other the entire year. But we'll see what happens, and especially if you can see a team like Boise State sneak in, they could pull off an upset. They almost beat Oregon early in the year, so...
Speaking of upsets, there's been a lot of upsets this weekend in the NFL in the past week, which is why it's so exciting to talk about these power rankings, Sean. I mean, a lot has happened. A lot.
Definitely has happened. Speaking of the power rankings.
I'm guessing Dom really wants to go in the power rankings.
I'm guessing Dom's really ready. I'm feeling the urgency right here.
Hey, be careful. It's spicy.
Spicy like Aaron Rodgers' water and cayenne pepper drink.
You know what, Dom? I'll go with you here. Let's go into the power rankings for this NFL season. I would just like to say one more thing about the AP poll. Memphis should be the number 25.
Coaches poll, they are.
Yes, they should be. Thank you, Coaches poll, for actually knowing ball. Now, we go into the NFL mid-season power rankings. We're going to go 32-1. Let's start with the worst teams in the league. Obviously, I'll take it first, but then I'll send it around. We're all going to go one by one. Number 32, and it should go without saying, I've got the Carolina Panthers. No way! The Carolina Panthers is the worst team in the NFL? Who saw that coming? Dom?
I have Carolina above one spot at 31.
No.
I'm going to have to put Tennessee here, actually. I just really don't like I really, really don't like Tennessee. I mean, you have a weekly clip each week of Will Levis failing. And it's actually kind of funny. I kind of miss Will Levis being the starter. But Mason Rudolph has kind of disappointed me. He hasn't taken them to the promised lands. I just feel like Carolina could beat them if they had Andy Dalton because he's the classic pocket QB. Chuba Hubba's better than Tony Pollard, simply, and Tyjae Spears. I feel like, at the end of the day, Carolina could beat Tennessee. And these are both really terrible teams. Like, these are like dumpster fire. And it's like, take gasoline and put it on top of that fire. Like, the fans are just, they don't even want to watch games.
Dom, we must be sharing a consciousness these past few weeks. I got Tennessee at 32 too. I put him there. Put him there solely because, like, I want to punish them for how bad last week was. They lost 52-14 to Detroit. There was a point in time in that game where Jared Goff had as many passing yards as the Lions had points. He had like 28 yards and they had 28 points.
And I was like,
I mean, they both suck, but I just want to punish Tennessee for that egregious loss.
I mean, I think Carolina puts up a little bit more of a fight than Tennessee. I don't know. Tennessee is just bad. It's really terrible.
both these teams suck.
They do. I don't really think we need to argue over 32 and 31. I don't think we should because they're both bad.
No.
Yeah, even though that takes kind of horrendous, but at the same time, these are both horrendous teams.
How? This Carolina squad is garbage. Trash.
Every year.
If you
They're
put
both
I'm not going to have a
trash.
problem if putting them at 32. Carolina sucks.
Why are we arguing over trash?
Hey, quick, this Carolina at 32. Let's move
Ladies
on.
and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
mine's also the Panthers at 32.
Thank you.
These are 32A and 32B in my book. They're both the two worst teams of football by a considerable margin, I'd say. At least for the other teams, you can find some bright
Do
spots.
you know why I have them dead set at 32? Because they made Marcus Mariota look like he was back at Oregon.
Oh, my God, they did.
Thank
That's
you.
insanely difficult to do.
Oh my God! Of course.
Yeah, let's move on to 31. When John and Dom are sharing a brain cell, you know it's going to be a bad episode.
It's going to be a good episode because Jared got.
Yeah, okay. Number 31, it looks like we just flip-flop these. Number 31 out of the Titans.
I'll go the Tennessee Titans as well at
I have
31.
the Panthers at 31.
Oh, I'm going to have the Panthers. You know, they're just
yeah,
a great.
these are the
great
two
team,
worst teams in
deserve
the
to be
league.
at
And
31.
why is Gabe
Chubba
looking at me
hubba.
like that?
I-
Why is Gabe looking at me
I
like
have
that?
Vegas at 31.
You know how much?
That's fine. That's fine. I have him at 30. That's fine.
You know how much consideration Chubba Hubba has moved this team upward one whole place for me.
I know he got me 30 points of fantasy, but besides the point, I have Vegas at 31. They have looked absolutely awful. If it wasn't for Gardner Minshew pulling what only I can say is a Tom Brady type game against the Ravens, I mean, they have been awful. And not to mention, they lost to the Panthers. That one win is against the Raiders, and that was an ugly, ugly, ugly loss for the Raiders. So I have no choice but to put them at 31.
Yeah, but I'm going to also have to agree with you. Oh, wait. We just did 31.
Yeah.
Oops.
Nope.
we can go to 30. I think.
Yeah, let's go to
30.
30.
As my 30 is the Raiders.
Which I just
so.
spoiled my 30.
30.
There we go.
That's my 30.
So 30, I am really, really low on this team, especially since they lost two of their wide receivers. I have the Jags at 30.
I mean, we're all, this is all kind of the same tier.
I don't blame you for that. They all have the same record, and Jags just kind of suck.
Jags just need to fire their coach, I would say.
I think it's just the fact that Brian Thomas has been like the
He's
light-
been
he's
the
been
only bright spot from that
He's
team.
been the spark plug of that offense, and with ETN being out, he hasn't been himself. It's been literally Tank Bigsby and Evan Ingram in the offense. Does that
God.
move you?
He's been hurt half the year, Ingram
Exactly.
has.
And Travis Etienne's been benched.
Yep. By
Bad.
Tank Bigsby.
Tank
And
Bigsby,
they've
baby.
been banged up in the O-line, too. Scherf has been kind of just not playing fully 100%.
Yeah. All right. 29.
Well, I had the Patriots at 30. So
You the Patriot. Okay.
yeah.
I have him at 29.
I have him at 29.
So everyone just has like.
I think
everything-
our bottom four are they all the same?
Yeah.
I have the Patriots at 29.
I have the
Yeah,
Ti-
our bottom four are all.
Yeah, I have the Ti-
actually. Our bottom
Actually,
five,
I
think,
have
are
New
all-
Orleans here
Wow.
at that spot.
at 30 or 29.
29.
29.
I have the Titans at 29. They had to come. at
Well,
one
simply
point.
because it's like the first 2 weeks that they played, I feel like that's like we thought they were legit at that point, but it was Carolina and a now like terrible Dallas Cowboys roster. And Dennis Allen just is not taking this team far. I mean, you have a good roster, and they're also like this team is like in the hospital right now.
I just think
basically.
this team, the Saints, should just blow it up. I feel like.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think they can
terrible.
win with Derek Carr and this roster. I just think they need to just start the rebuild, get out of the cap hole they've been in for the past 5 years, and they just don't have a very good roster,
Wait,
and they're hurt.
Wait, John, are you and Dom like 4 for 4 right now? Is that what
No,
you
we're
think
not.
this
No,
is?
we're
okay,
not.
okay, okay. That's what
I have the
said.
Saints a bit higher.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
we
okay.
looked at each other's notes and then
Yeah. 28, I believe, is what we're on right now. That's where I put the Raiders.
That's where I have him as well.
Why are you guys higher on them? They haven't been very good this year.
I
They
just
beat
they've
Baltimore.
shown
Ravens.
flashes.
It's the Baltimore
See, I
way.
They've
kind
had
of
some.
ranked a lot of the things about upside and how they can.
I mean,
go
they've
for
had
it.
some great bright spots, but they might have a worse quarterback situation than the 2024 Michigan Wolverines.
I
mean, they might have to start Desmond Ritter.
That's
Ritter,
bad.
who got cut from the Cardinals.
Hey, he's good at
I
home
can't
games.
name the Cardinals backup they cut him for. I don't know who he is.
Clayton Tune.
Clayton too.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
he's good. Anyways,
What a pull.
my
actually.
spot for this. What is this? 28.
28.
New York Giants. That O-line is garbage. Yeah, Gabe. Yeah,
Me and Dom, 28.
I mean,
Giants.
they have promise. Just because you draft one guy does not mean that he can carry the boat. They need the tank. They need to draft another player. There's a reason why Saquon went to Philly to take it out on them. Daniel Jones has been okay, but he doesn't do enough to win games.
I mean,
he
this
cannot
team
win games. They played close to the Steelers. Their D-line is good, but their secondary is awful. There's a lot of ugly here. There's too much ugly here. I mean, look at that 2-point conversion they won up against towards Pittsburgh. Alex Highsmith just went in there and completely wrecked that play, and the offensive linemen just didn't have it together. They were looking at Daniel Jones to snap the ball. They were watching him. They were watching him snap the ball in that 2-point conversion. And are we not going to talk about how many ineligible down to field plays?
Yeah.
You know how many yards that racks up over time?
A lot.
Yes, a lot. So draft a new O-line.
I would say this team definitely has some bright spots. I mean, Malik Neighbor is the best receiver they've had since OBJ. They're finally getting out of that hell of just Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard for like 5 years.
By the way, that's
like a decade ago, almost. Yeah, and I mean, Tyrone Tracy's had some good games. Kind of emerged a 4th-round rookie. D-line has been great under new defensive coordinator Shane Bowen, and adding Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence having an amazing breakout deploy level year. But they just have 2 huge holes, and that's the QB in the secondary. Deontay Banks is playing like burnt toast right now. He's playing like he's doing his prime Manuel Forbes impression out there. And Daniel Jones just is Daniel Jones. You know who he is. He's not more than that. He's hit his ceiling, and I feel like it's a matter of when, not if, they get rid of him at this point.
who is your 28?
My 28 is the Jags. My 27 is the Giants. So
Oh, okay.
So are we saying both then?
No,
28
John's
to
is
27?
ahead of himself.
I have
Okay.
my
28 's
28
the
is the
Raiders.
Jags. So
28's the Raiders.
Okay, let's go to 27.
yeah,
then.
my 28 was Giants.
Just go
Okay.
clockwise for order.
Yeah, all right.
This order is giving me brain damage.
27. 27, I'm very low on this team. I have the Miami Dolphins.
I don't have the Dolphins here. I have New England here. I'm not too high on New England. They're a gritty team. They use the power of friendship to win games. That's all I can really say. I mean, you got Drake May. He had a good, promising few starts and passed to some random no-name receivers that I can't remember the names of.
shout out to Mario Douglas.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jacoby Brissett's good. They win a few games. Gerard Mayo calls his defense soft. Still going to need to hit the draft a few times. Maybe get a named good receiver. But I just got to put him here. Too much of a rebuild. They're currently rebuilding, but need to keep going.
I have the Giants 27 before I touched on them, really. So,
Wow, I'm shocked that this team hasn't been said yet. I have the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to be flat out honest. This team had a lot of expectations and potential, considering what all weapons we had and the defense we had. That O-line failed. That O-line is garbage, trash. I'm taking a quack. Dog. It's simple as that. This team is 2-6, negative 48-point differential. I don't want to talk about it.
I also have the Browns at 27. I felt like, no offense, RJ, it was a great game from Jameis Winston, but I felt like they should have lost the Ravens. Ravens dropped they dropped 2 interceptions where the Browns went on to score a touchdown right after the dropped interception. It should have been a blowout if those balls are caught. Jameis Winston, though, you got to look on the upside. That's why they're so high for me, because they're the upside of Jameis Winston.
That's why he should have started like 3 weeks ago.
But
if we started 3 weeks ago, this team would be like semi-mid-near tier. It's sad.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to number 26. I'll kick it off. I have the New Orleans Saints at 26.
I have the Jacksonville Jaguars, only because a lot of their losses, minus Buffalo, have been very, very close.
I put Miami Dolphins here. I mean, at this point, Miami should just tank the whole. Buffalo is going to run away with it, and there's no real point of them trying to win out. They should probably bench Tua as well, just for his health. I mean, there's been talks going around the league about that already. They just lost to Arizona, barely, but still, it's kind of sad to see that Tua is kind of the center of this offense. The defense is terrible. I mean, it's okay, but they just keep losing players, and it just goes to show if you invest in a fully offense, you got to invest in the full team. This isn't a well-complemented football team, and simply I just put them this low for that reason.
I have the Saints 26. I mean, they're a bad team who's banged up, and not much more than that.
I have the Giants at 26. I think we've already kind of talked about them. I have some few stars, but just nothing quite yet.
All right. Going to 25, this is where I have the Cleveland Browns. The one thing I have written down for the Browns is at least Jameis was cooking, and Tillman looked pretty nice. But like RJ was saying, they've been severely underwhelming this year.
Yeah, I have the Dolphins, and the only reason they made it this high to 25 is because of everyone behind them, if that makes sense. Everyone behind them has been worse. Tyler Huntley experience was a complete and utter failure. And even with Tua this year, they haven't looked like a playoff team. Is that fair to say? They were getting blown out by Buffalo with Tua in the game. So you can't put them any higher than this position, probably.
We should probably mention, too, that last year they could barely beat teams above 500, and they had a cupcake schedule. They would play absolutely terrible teams, stat padded their victories, and then made it to the playoffs and got wrecked by the Chiefs because of the cold weather. So I really don't know what to think about this team anymore. They're not good against other good teams.
They're not even good against bad teams now.
I had the Browns 25. I mean, they're probably the hardest team for me to rank on this list because, I mean, the weeks 1 through, what are we in, week 9 now? The week 1 through 8 Browns are like a bottom 3, bottom 2 team with Deshaun playing because he was looking just so absolutely terrible. But, I mean, they kind of had some, like, old school Jameis magic in that last game, putting off a pretty nice win. And, I mean, this is a talented roster. I mean, none of these teams in the bottom, 10 or so have a player even nearly as talented as Myles Garrett in their team. And I just feel like I want to see next week's game will say a lot about this team, whether or not that last Baltimore game was a flash in the pan, whether or not Jameis can kind of do his best Joe Flacco last year impression and kind of turn this team around. They have talent, but they were just trapped in the hell of the Deshaun Watson experience, and I'm happy they're out, but I'm not sure that I think they're just in too big of a hole to climb out.
Super quick to mention before I say my 25, we are not out of that. We still got to pay that money. And I think Connor, to match your point with Cedric Tillman, I think how the Browns view him is it is the younger Amari Cooper.
You save money because he's injured. He's not playing, so you save.
Oh yeah, we save.
But you still gave him guaranteed.
That's my point. Yeah,
but you don't have to pay him like $20 million.
What I meant to say is
just about.
I won't play a snap for you guys again.
I would hope
you
not.
would gladly eat that money.
Yeah, I think we kind of have to. But my 25 it was the Miami Dolphins. You obviously have that talent. I just really think you don't play to the expectation. I think it's simple, and this is why you're that low.
Real quick, I didn't get in my 25, but my 25 would have to be the New York Jets. Just because you beat an injury, the hospital team of the Texans does not earn you a spot above. And not only that, they lost to New England last week, which should have been an easy game. If they won last week and this week, they would have been a lot higher. But you have all this talent on your roster. Don't get me wrong. This last night's game, they proved that they had the talent and they showed it. But why wasn't this earlier in the season? They should have capitalized way earlier. You have all this talent. You lost so many games already. And overall, New York, the Jets have been it's been a god awful dumpster fire. I mean, the firing of Robert Saleh. Now the locker rooms in a daze. They're all confused. I just don't like what I'm seeing here. I had to put them this low. You have that much talent and you're not able to produce at all.
I mean, I'll say I piece on the Jets later. I have them a tiny bit higher, but I feel like it's just a big cultural issue at this team. I was in favor of the Saleh firing at the time, but the more I've just kind of seen this team play, I've kind of realized that you either got to fire him in the offseason last year or commit to riding him out for a year. Firing him 4 weeks in and then not getting rid of Ulbrich and Hackett and bringing in an outside voice is just kind of doesn't really solve any of your problems. But this team, Dom got it right. This team has a lot of talent. They just haven't really shown the ability to use that besides last night's game against a banged-up Texans team. And another Thursday night went over a bad Patriots team. But, I mean, I wouldn't count this team out yet because there's a lot of talent in this team. But whether or not it will emerge, because it definitely hasn't yet, is still up for debate right now. And, I mean, this is not a hard schedule, so we'll see.
Yeah. And going past 25, now we have number 24. We are slowly making our way up the list. I'm going to flip these two. I originally had them flipped, but at 24, I have the New York Giants. The defensive line has been great, and Neighbors and Tyrone Tracy have been otherwise solid other than their last game out. But yeah, this Giants team just hasn't performed, and like you were saying earlier, Dom, Daniel Jones is just not good.
Yeah, I have the Saints here. I can't put them any higher. They're on a 6-game losing streak right now. They opened up the year against a really bad, dysfunctional Cowboys team. And like we've said before, this team, it was a fluke shot. I mean, they started the year off like the Panthers, where Sam Darnold starting when they went 3-0 and just absolutely collapsed. This is not a good team, and I think it starts with their head coach. He is holding this team back so much that he should be fired already because of the talent that he's just holding back on this team.
For this spot, I had to go 24. I had to go with the Cleveland Browns and like RJ said earlier, if you would have started Jameis like 3 to 4 weeks ago, they could have been maybe even like up above Cincinnati. They have a great defense they've held the games really close to their best of ability. They just haven't had that offensive punch to be able to put points on the board. I feel like now, because you have Jameis Winston, they're going to start to compete a lot more because they're actually able to produce points and drive down the field. That's what they were lacking with Deshaun. I mean, I don't really blame them for sticking with Deshaun because you pay him that much money and you kind of expect him to stay. And I mean, you kind of have to let him play it out, kind of like Dak Prescott now. I'm betting they regret paying him as well. But it's unfortunate that Cleveland didn't put in upstanding citizen Jameis Winston earlier.
24 have Dolphins. I mean, where is Tyreek Hill? Where is he? Send the FBI. Where is he? Where is he? I don't know where he is. No one can find him. No one knows where he is.
He's speeding to the stadium.
Yeah, he's probably speeding to the stadium. That's probably the most newsworthy thing he's done all year. And if he's not there and not playing good, your team just doesn't click. He's the reason that team took the leap they did. And I'm also going to yell at them for giving Tim Boyle the quacking starting job. I mean, who could watch the Jets last year in the last 6 weeks and say, yup, I want that quarterback to start games for me?
Well, they say, and Don mentioned benching Tua, they don't have any draft capital. They forget Tyreek Hill trade, Bradley Chubb trade. I mean, they don't have any type of draft capital to really do anything. And it's bad.
Just not getting a competent backup quarterback for your Tua, who's the most injury-prone quarterback in the league. It's a big story every year. If he's gonna stay healthy, just choosing to get a wash Tyler Huntley and Tim Boyle.
You're forgetting about Kansas State legend and known flasher of the NFL, Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, good. No reason to remember him. I am not using. You can only remember 1,000 names in your life. I am not using one of those names on Skylar Thompson. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. My 24, I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints. That 3-0 start was the reason why I have them this high, and then that collapse, they've just been getting lower and lower and lower and lower on the list. So 24, I think, is the spot they kind of deserve. And honestly, with this team, not quite sure what direction they're going to go in.
Yeah. 23 now, I'm going to the other New York team that plays at MetLife Stadium. I did these rankings before last night's game against the Texans, but 23 I have the New York Jets. They have the best roster out of the three, I have it, quote, mega teams in their division. They can potentially turn it around, which I think is highly unlikely.
I mean, never count Aaron Rodgers out.
Yeah, never count that talented of an offense out, on paper at least. But it's just kind of been a dumpster fire since, even with Saleh, but ever since the Saleh firing, it's just kind of been...
even before that, this team, they lost to a Broncos team that had 70 passing yards.
Yeah, it's bad.
He lost by a field goal, too.
I mean, at 23, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, this team came in. I don't know why. I've said it all year round. They came in with high expectations. I mean, they were borderline, not quite there, but teeter around the border of Super Bowl contenders when their biggest signing is Eric Kendricks and their leading scorer on the year is a kicker. I mean, this team had high expectations, and I don't know what was going on. This team is total garbage right now compared to the talent they have on offense. CeeDee Lamb, dude, you are not worth $40 million the way you're playing. Dak Prescott's the highest paid player of all time, which is sad. And then I don't know what they were expecting with this team. They've got the best backfield of 2017 with Dalvin Cook and Zeke back there. This is not a good put-together team, and they're under 500 well into the season, I would say. And they haven't even hit the heart of their schedule yet with the Eagles and with the Commanders coming up.
My 23, I'd have to put Jacksonville here. I mean, Jacksonville, they do keep it close. They have a good. They kept it pretty close with Green Bay. I mean, they still put in the effort. I don't know if this is to keep Doug Peterson's job. Maybe kind of seems like it, even though he's probably going to be gone by the end of the season. Yeah, there's not much to say for this team. Yeah, if Evan Engram's the leading receiver, then tight end. It's not looking good for them. And how do we make ETN just go like disappear? Even though I know he's had injuries, but now it's just like it's Tank Bigsby's job now. Jacksonville just sucks with their running backs, and it kind of pisses me off.
I mean, I have the Jets 23. I mean, this team finally decided to look like an actual NFL team. All it took was the blood sacrifice of the Yankees to get it to happen. So, I mean, I said before, so much talent on the roster, but just a bad culture But I think they've kind of started clicking. I think one of the things that's clicked for this team in the past 2 games, even in the Patriots' loss, is that Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson connection. I think an underrated part of having Devontae Adams here is that he draws the best corner on that team against the Pats. He drew Christian Gonzalez's coverage. That just allowed Garrett Wilson just to run wild, have his best game against the Pats up to that point, and eat even better against the Texans last night, making that crazy catch. But this team has a lot of talent. They've got to get it right. They don't play a hard schedule. I think having Hassan Reddick back helps this team a lot because they were missing an edge rusher with the loss of Bryce Huff and John Franklin Myers. And they've been able to kind of find that in the aggregate, but having Hassan Reddick back has just been huge for that defense these past 2 games. And there's talent on the roster. They haven't looked good, but they have the talent to turn it around. So I'll put them at 23 for now.
Yeah, I agree with you. They have that talent. At 23, this one's a little bit of a hotter take because I can see the argument for them being higher ranked. I'm going to have to go with the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I'm going to say a reason. However, with the quarterback controversy and changing, I would have probably had him higher if obviously Anthony Richardson was playing much better than he is now. And obviously wouldn't have to switch to Flacco, especially so I'd say kind of early in the year for a team trying to make the playoffs. But the weirdest thing is what I'm looking at here. All of their games have been by like a 1 possession. That's insane. Because you could see a team that's 4-4 right now be like 6-2. I mean, just by a couple drives. But I really think for Indianapolis, I mean, obviously they had Jonathan Taylor hurt for a little bit, which kind of did derail them a little bit. But I'm looking at their schedule coming up. You got the Vikings, Bills, Jets, Lions. I don't think this team's going to be near 500 much longer. Not dissing Joe Flacco, though. He did save my team's life. So always shout out to Joe Flacco. But I think I have to have him low just due to that upcoming schedule and just how they've played so far.
Yeah, and building off of what you just said, I have the Indianapolis Colts at 22. I'm very low on this Colts team, obviously with AR looking really, really bad. He looked like last game. He has been
like the
awful.
Worst completion percentage a quarterback has ever had.
You
It was
guys
like
aren't gonna like
44%. Worst
That's what I thought.
completion rating of all time.
He's like the project quarterback of project quarterbacks.
He is what I thought Trey Lance would be.
Yeah, he's like Trey Lance with more hype. But Joe Flacco can turn this team around, I think, genuinely, which is really kind of funny to say. Their wide receiver of the future, quote unquote, A.D. Mitchell, hasn't gotten like any targets. And the only 2 people on this team that are actually playing solid football is Jonathan Taylor, who when healthy is an all-pro, and DeForest Buckner, who has been the only good defensive player for them this year. That's why I have him so low.
I've got the Jets here at 22. They almost cracked the top 20, but I think the way the year started for them, they can't go higher than top 20. I think John can even agree with that. They can't go higher than that just because of the start of the season. And that Patriots loss was ugly.
Pats, I mean, they have more bad losses I can count on one hand.
And that's why they're so low. 22.
They don't lose close games. They lose ugly.
Well, you're lucky because they would have been not even close to 25 if it wasn't for that Texans game.
Texans
that offense is what sparked it. That defense looked manageable, but C.J. Stroud has had a down year compared to last year. But the Jets are just so confusing right now because they can be good. They can. Never count out A-Rod, but A-Rod right now is looking like he's definitely not Packers A-Rod. He's like Tampa Bay Tom Brady, but not the one that won the Super Bowl.
I mean, he just looks like he's just had I really thought one of the things that when he got hurt, just to kind of cope with myself, was I kind of thought he would be able to at least develop a connection with the offense. He did not look like he was in tune with any of his receivers, even his old Packers guys, the first few weeks of the year. And that's kind of, as he's played more snaps, it's kind of helped fix itself. But he's looking a bit more comfortable now, but I still wouldn't say it's like a Packers level comfortable.
For this 22 spot, I, of course, had to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Like Gabe said, they're just kind of a horrendous team. I'm just going to blame it all on Jerry Jones. It's all his fault. He's condemned this team to their own doom, and it won't be their year this year or next year or the year following. I mean, you just signed Dak Prescott, gave him away a bag. We got the Unk squad now in the running back core. I mean, it's looking good. It's looking great for Dallas. They really know how to throw their whole team away. I mean, I just enjoy watching like the pictures of the fans every week, just them looking disappointed. Good job, Jerry Jones. Great job. Good job. It's time for you to sit in the press box, like I said earlier in the previous podcast.
I'm gonna make Connor mad. I got the Bengals at 22. That last
Angry.
that last week loss, I want to put them higher, but that loss to the Eagles just hurts.
He's frowning.
That's a bad loss. I really want to put them higher because before that loss, they kind of were like playing Bengals ball, having a couple close losses at the start of the year, then getting a few wins, but that loss just sapped all the momentum out of the team. And this team's defense is terrible. This defense is terrible. I understand you lost Kent Hill or Britt. Dak Hill's a big part of that team, and he's been hurt. But without T. Higgins, you just don't have... I don't think the Bengals had the weapons to just win shootouts like that Commanders game in a sense. You just got... It just hasn't been a year for them.
Oh, well, here we go. I'm probably going to get another quack for this one. That might be the worst take I've ever heard in my life.
Why?
You don't watch football. The job at Fox is still open for you. Just so you know.
Buddy, I'm just gonna pull up the score. I'm just gonna pull up the score.
Yeah, you're going to pull up
I'm
all
just
of
gonna
the
pull up
losses
the
except
story.
for the Eagles loss being a 6-point game or less. Yeah.
Pull up the score here. You lost 37-17.
Yeah. But we also lost in overtime. We should have beat the Ravens. We almost beat the Chiefs. And we almost beat another big dog. I don't understand how you can put us that low.
Oh, I mean, I don't look at...
I'm not going to put them high, but they're not that low.
Connor Bradford has been disrespected.
The defense just isn't good. Defense just hasn't been good.
It's not, but the audacity to say that we don't have enough weapons to win an offensive shootout
When T. Higgins
put
is-
Jamar Chase in the MVP race.
When T. Higgins is hurt, I don't think they have enough ammunition just to win games.
Yeah, you guys missed
Zach
him for
Moss,
that
Chase
Patriots game.
Brown, Jamar Chase.
Whoa, Zach Moss.
Yeah, he's
Whoa,
good.
I'm so scared.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had close losses, but
Oh God.
they've had close
Okay, Mr.
losses and
Fumble, Braylon
wins.
Allen.
But maybe it's recently biased with that game being last week. Maybe I'm taking that into account too much because their other losses are close, but they just haven't had the ability to just pull through in those close games. And I value that a lot. They haven't pulled through in those close games.
I would just like to say that you have Mr. Fat Fumblezilla, Braylon Allen. He's basically Fat Mark Sanchez back there.
All right.
So fuck
What are we
you.
hating on Braylon Allen for? What are we hating on Braylon Allen for? He's caught the most diabolical stray possible.
Yeah, 'cause you're disrespecting Zach Moss like that. I will not stand for that.
And I'm just going to say, I value the ability to win close games a lot, and the Bengals just haven't won those close games.
Coming from a Jets fan.
Chase Brown is better, though,
Oh,
low-key,
my
than
God.
Zach Moss. He's way better than Zach Moss. I'm sorry. Chase Brown is the guy.
He is. He's
is
a better
better.
running back.
I'll keep it quick for my 22. I'm going with the New York Jets. We've talked about them a lot, so I'm not going to say much that already hasn't been said, but Texans game helps. But, wow. Well, what a rant that was.
All right. 21. This is where I slide in the Dallas Cowboys. This team sucks. They're really bad.
This team sucks. All right. Anyway.
They're really bad. CD and Dak are currently doing a carry job, and if they're not on, they're going to get blown out. There's not much else to say. And without Micah, this defense is incredibly mid. That's all I really had to say.
Let the chaos begin, boys. I've got the Bears at 21.
Ooh, that's a hot
That's
take.
not as bad
Their
as mine.
only
like
wins.
that.
They have 5 wins on the year. Panthers, Titans. A Rams team where Tutu Atwell was the starting wide receiver. I want that to sink in. And they also, hold up, I have it right. They beat the Jaguars. I mean, those are 4 of their 5 wins right there. That is sad, okay? And the only reason they beat the Titans is because Will Levis is going to Will Levis. I mean, that is a terrible schedule. That is a terrible loss. I mean, they barely, their defense is incredible. Okay, I'm going to say this right now. Their defense is the only reason why they have even 3 wins. This Caleb Williams, except the Panthers game, has been underachieving to the fullest. I mean, he had 36 yards at halftime.
I disagree. I think he's been a rookie. I think he's just been a pretty standard rookie. I mean, he hasn't. I mean, we're catered to an era where rookies come in and like dominate, like Jaden Daniels right now, like C.J. Stroud did last year, and he's just having an up and down year. But he has so improved every game, I would say.
I know he has improved. Well, that Commanders game was a setback. Let's be honest.
Setback,
but when you have the word generational right next to you, and you come out like this with the weapons that they literally gave the middle finger. They flipped the bird to Justin Fields, gave him Keenan Allen injured, and then they gave him Roma Dunze, and they have DJ Moore there, and they have Cole Kmet, who's actually been playing extremely good football this year and the end of last year. He has all the tools. That offensive line, it's not pretty, it's not good, but it ain't terrible at any aspect. I wouldn't say it's like crazy. I wouldn't even say. I would say it's borderline average. So he has enough tools to do it. He's just not performing out there, and his defense is doing everything possible to even up the situation for him. He's still unable to perform 75% of the time.
I think our standards are too high for Caleb. I mean, I'm not gonna. If he was playing like this in like the late stages of year 2 or like early year 3, I would understand that. But I said before, expectations for rookie quarterbacks have been set so high. I think it's okay for a guy to kind of have up and downs and flashes of greatness and also just college bad plays. But I mean, I agree with you. This team has had really easy wins, and they're going to play a brutal schedule coming up.
And they're not even really convincing easy wins either.
They're not convincing easy wins.
They're not.
I like your pick, Gabe. Personally, this is kind of like this is one of the few situations where you give a rookie a really, really good offense. This is almost like a prove it year 1 for Caleb Williams. I mean, he's shown flashes that he can be good. Don't get me wrong, he's played somewhat well in some games, but at the same time, this is one of those teams, I don't know, there's a lot of teams right now that I kind of have to give the short stick to, which is why for my 21, I have to give it to the Seattle Seahawks. Simply because listen. The Rams, when fully healthy, they are dangerous, and I feel like they are going to take their division. Arizona, when they're healthy, they're better whenever they play good like that. And they disappointed me in the game, in the Buffalo game. When you have Kenneth Walker's like the bright spot here. They played terrible against Buffalo. They kept it close with New England. They went into overtime with New England. How do you do that? Every week, this team, in and out, they're just sad week to week. Either they're really good or they're really terrible. I don't think they're going to win their division. I feel like either the Rams, Cardinals, or San Fran, even a beaten up San Fran squad is way better than this team because they at least have a run game that's promising. I just do not see Seattle going forward and going into the postseason. I don't.
That take was so wild that I popped my jaw out of place, and now it's cramping really, really bad.
Oh, my God.
Did DK Metcalf die?
He's hurt. He's hurt.
He's hurt.
He's been hurt.
He's hurt.
He kind of did die.
They've just been bad as of recent, and I have not been a fan.
They're like the most up and down team in the NFL this year. They have really high highs and really low lows. I mean, I don't have much higher. But my 21's the Colts. I'm not going to say much on them before I talk about them. I like their weapons. Josh Downs is a really good receiver. Pittman is too. And let's see if Joe Flacco can do some Joe Flacco magic.
Now, for my 21, I'm not going to be as egregious as John, because when he explained his take on this, it was horrible.
They can't win close games!
However, I'm not even going to say it's their fault. I'm going to say it's the other teams around them, around where they're ranked, which is why I have them this low, and it's the Cincinnati Bengals at 21. The only game I really say that they should have won, that they haven't won already, was the New England game in Week 1.
Yeah, at least my quarterback can throw more touchdowns than lawsuits.
Well, I mean, you just got to – the take's true. I mean, I'm going to be so real with you. I mean, especially when you look at –
say it, the record means something.
You expect more out of this team. I think it's more of them not meeting expectations rather than them – being bad.
Is this just the beat up Cincinnati episode? I feel like it is.
Yes, it is.
This is not beating up Cincinnati. I have no ill will to Cincinnati.
Are you kidding me?
Saying what I'm looking at. I mean, obviously, yes. If they didn't keep it as close as Kansas City, they probably would have been even lower, but they keep good with great teams. I'm not saying they can't keep up with these great teams. They're just not beating them.
I would just love to have seen them pull through a few of those wins against these good teams.
If they had
they'd probably be a few spots higher.
If they had a better defense, there'd be no question here, and they'd be almost a top 10 team. They just don't have the defense.
Let's go into the top 20 before I commit a war crime.
Truth.
Number 20, we need to pick up the pace here a little bit. We got 20 more teams to go. Number 20, Los Angeles Chargers for me.
What?
All three of us agree on that. Nice.
I also have the Los Angeles Chargers.
Nice. Let's go.
What?
That's a great team.
I mean, they're a great team.
They're a good team.
And they've shown that they've drafted really well. Joe
20?
Yes, John. Do you want to know John, do you want to know the reasoning? You know what 3 of their wins are? Panthers, Raiders, Saints.
Yeah. Other than literally...
that is 75% of their wins because they have 4.
They have only beaten the one cupcake team in their division. That's it.
John,
I'll stand up here. I have them pretty fairly high.
And they're
Justin Herbert right now, and Harbaugh is a good coach. He is fixing that team. That team was awful last year. He is fixing this team. They're in the right direction. It's just they're 4-3 because of an easy schedule so far. They've got the pieces. They still haven't fully committed to figuring out how to get Herbert with the run game. But this team is on the right track, John. I want that to be known.
I'll definitely say. I have them a bit higher. I think I value the team, the style of play Harbaugh has brought in a bit more. I think it's more sustainable than people would think it is. I think it's going to have some more good wins. But Dom, who's your 20?
I already said it's Los Angeles as well.
Chargers as well.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You
20.
got
I have the Cowboys. They can't run the ball for.
I agree. I have Dallas.
Cowboys above 6.
Holy quacks.
I have Dallas at 20 as well. I mean, we've already kind of went deep in on Dallas, so I'm not going to say too much.
Yeah. All right. 19. I feel like this is a little egregious, but this NFC is so packed. I have the Rams at 19. I think when they have both of their wide receivers playing at the same time, they're very good. But this defense is really inconsistent. That's really all I have to say. But when both of these wide receivers are healthy, it gives Stafford more options. It opens the playbook up more. But they're just not my favorite in the NFC.
I have the Denver Broncos at 19. I mean, Bo Dacius has been better than expected. Let's get that through the roof. He's been great. Sean Payton has completely done a 180, honestly, in his coaching reign. But when you see some of the games they played, it feels like if they're playing a better opponent, they could easily lose. They've had some easy people on their schedule. I mean, Sean Payton said it himself, that's a bad offense in the Panthers. There's no other way to put it. This defense is coming together, and Pat Surtain has missed a few games, and they're still winning. It comes from the people ahead of them I feel like could crush them, if that makes sense.
I can see that. I've them a bit higher. Tom, who you got?
At my 19, I'm sorry, Connor. I'm going to have to put Cincinnati here. I love the offense. I wish I could have ranked them higher. But at the same time, that defense just holds them back. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Joe Burrow. He has to throw like almost a 400-yard game just to keep it close. I thought that they could maybe get a win against Philadelphia, but anytime they play a good offense, their defense just gets kicked in the teeth. And I just feel like that's your problem. That's the main problem. Fix that, and that team would have a winning record, probably lead division.
I think Connor would agree. Dak was a big part of that defense, and
yes.
losing him hurts a lot. My 19, I have the Seahawks. I mean, they're another. As I said before, they're inconsistent as hell. I mean, they play good. They played some amazing good games and really bad games. I think the bad games land me a bit more than the good games, because that's why I have them at 19. But I mean, I don't really know who they are right now, but I haven't really been convinced that they're that good.
At 19, I have the Chicago Bears. I mean, obviously, you've seen with what Caleb Williams has shown. I'm going to say it's not up to the expectations of what they set, because this team, and when you look at rookie quarterback situations and every number one overall pick situations, this has been by far the greatest situation you could put a number one pick in, I'd say, of all time. I'll make that bold claim.
That's a hot take.
It is, and I'll say it. And considering especially the loss to the Colts early in the year, I think really sticks out to me at least. And the defense, obviously, of, that Hail Mary is the only reason why they lost against the Commanders. I mean, it's true. But, I mean, that's their own fault. They deserved that loss, and I'll say it because their cornerback wasn't paying attention. But, I mean, they have some potential, but will it be? It's kind of on the fence team, so I'm going to put them at 19.
All right. 18 is where I put my Cincinnati Bengals. I think the only reason I was getting up in arms about that is because they should be a top 20 team just because of their offense, but not very far into the top 20.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, definitely that Eagles loss is weighing on me a lot.
Yeah. The defense has been so bad, and you can see it when Jordan Battle's out on the field and when Geno Stone is out on the field, it is a massive difference. Geno Stone is so much better than Jordan Battle is. Obviously, Battle's young. Geno Stone's young too, but like this team is nowhere near where it should be. The offense is the only thing that is good about this team, and when they're clicking, they're a top 5 offense in the NFL. I think.
I would agree definitely. I mean, I think not. I mean, Chase is great. I think what makes it offense, like the offense we expected, is having Chase and Higgins to fill at the same time, and with him being banged up, just multiple injuries, not being 100%, that hurts him a lot.
Yeah, and a massive pickup for this offense in the offseason was Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki has been great. I've always said this, I think T. Higgins plays a tight end type of role for this offense. He's 6'4", he's shifty. I don't know how he does some of the things he does, but that's we could kind of get away with not having a great tight end. That's why C.J. Uzama was so good for the longest time for us in that Super Bowl run. But T. Higgins kind of fills in for that tight end role, so you kind of play with 2 tight ends out on the field, but you play with a fast tight end. And, I mean, when you don't have T. Higgins, it just locks up so much of the offensive playbook, so that's just why I have him so low.
At 18, I have the Colts. I think everyone said their points on the Colts. I have them only this high because I feel like the only problem this year has been it's been AR. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He should have been benched the moment Flacco went out there and was slinging that thing. I'm talking, there's no other way to put it. AR has been underachieving this year, has been right out terrible, and his IQ has been horrific. And I'm not even talking about football either. His IQ has been horrific. So I have him at 18, but this is the absolute max I would put this team.
Oh, we're at 18, right?
18,
yes,
yeah.
Don.
Okay, at 18, I'd have to put the Denver Broncos. Simply, they're a week-to-week team. Either Bo Nix is going to be good Bo Nix or bad Bo Nix.
Good Bo Nix. Are you getting Oregon Bo Nix or Auburn Bo Nix?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they played well. I mean, the Tampa game, good example of good Bo Nix. Good Bo Nix. And then you go to the Steelers game, bad Bo Nix. It's just week in, week out with this team. I mean, the Sean Payne effect, they're a wild card spot right now. I mean, I don't know where to really put this team because of that, but like they're either so-so or bad. That's it.
I got the Bears at 18. I mean, always means everybody said. I think I'm a bit more sympathetic to Caleb than you guys are. I think I'm willing to give him a bit more time. I think you will be what we think he is in a few years. But, I mean, it's a great defense. And as good as defense, I'm not really sure Matt Eberflus is the guy for that team. I never really have been.
I'm happy that the majority of people agree that a wild card team right now is not even cracking really the top 20. Like, barely. So that's crazy to say with the type of record these people have.
I mean, there's a lot of teams this year that have been hurt
Mid.
and aren't playing to their expectations, or have been good and then have gotten hurt. I'll see if those in the future. But I think there are definitely teams that have higher potential than they've played to right now.
That is very true. I'm going to put at the number spot of 18, the Los Angeles
18.
Chargers. Obviously, I think we've all kind of set our Los Angeles Charger points. And this game against Cleveland, at least for me, will be very interesting. Because I think it's a team that is, I don't want to say on the rise, but they're getting on the right track to being on the rise. And then the Chargers of okay, this is a team with a good defense. How will their offense respond? So I think it's kind of a question for both teams coming into this week. So I think it's interesting, but I have the Chargers at 18.
I'm currently switching my rankings as we go, but I'm going off of what I normally said. 17, I am going with the Seattle Seahawks. They have been so disappointing as of late. They came out the gates humming. They were 3-1, and I just think 17 is a fair spot for them right now. They're just not good enough right now.
I have the Rams here at 17. They made it high because when they're healthy, they're a very, very good team. But when they have injuries, and they've had a lot of them, they're getting a top 10 pick.
17, I had to say the Chicago Bears. Again, another week-to-week team. Could either be good Caleb or bad Caleb. At the end of the day, I don't see this team getting a wild card spot as their division is way too good. But other than that, everyone else has said what basically I would have to say about Chicago.
I have the Rams 17 for the exact same reason as Gabe. When they're healthy, they're good. When they're hurt, they're bad.
And they've been more hurt than
than
good
this year. But
Yeah.
now that, I mean, Puka hurt his knee again, I think, earlier today. Had to stop practice. But like when they can get Puka and Cup on the same time, it's a pretty good offense. And shout out to Braden Fiske and Jared Verse. They've kind of made Aaron Donald in the aggregate.
Very true. What are we at? 17, right? Yep, 17. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. Obviously, with Dom's point, good Bo Nix or bad Bo Nix? Honestly, I think that kind of makes it, and this defense as well gets this team a higher ranking for me. This defense is incredible. I think that's what's been saving Denver from being potentially even, not even, what are they, 5-3, I believe?
Yes, 5-3.
Yeah, let's say if they didn't have that defense, they'd probably be at least or at the very highest 4-4. So I'm going to keep Denver at 17.
All right, 16. Again, I'm going off the list as I go. 16, I've got the Chicago Bears. I had them originally higher than this, but a lot of people made a lot of good points about how the Bears have been so hiccupy this year and that Caleb has been really, really mid. The only thing that saves this team, I think, is their defense. They have currently the best corner in the league right now, but then his counterpart is not the greatest. But yeah, they're just not as good as some people hope they'd be. And I mean, they're in a tough division. They're last in the division, and they're 4-3. I mean, that's like impossible to think about sometimes.
Yeah, the Bears kind of remind me of that scene in SpongeBob where SpongeBob picks a person out to scare, and that's that big guy in the Flying Dutchman moves it over to like the little kid.
I know exactly what you're thinking of.
So that's,
That little kid was Will Levis in the Bears case.
yeah, that's literally what I'm thinking of.
That
But
is such a good
at
representation of that
16,
team.
at the straight midway point, I have the Bengals. This is a team that is about, a penalty away, getting T. Higgins back, and whatever the heck Joe Burrow happened at the Patriots, and they almost beat the Ravens, and still, in my opinion, the best game of the year so far. And I feel like they're getting disrespect because of the record. And that record's 5-3. Joe Burrow's top 5 easily in that MVP race.
Just before we go to Dom, I would like to go off that point. We are a flag and a field goal away from being top of the division, by the way. Just let's just put that out there. Or no, second in the division. No, never mind. The Steelers are top of the division.
Oh, yeah. After the bye week, probably not. At 16, I'd probably have to put San Fran, which is weird. All the rest of the AFC West, I kind of have in the similar position because they're all mid. But San Fran is a injury-prone team. It's every other year with them, it seems to be. Shocker, I know. But, I mean, Debo's sick, and apparently one of his ribs is messed up. I don't know. Brandon Ayuk, he's out for the rest of the year. Ricky Pearsall, he's healthy, but he was shot earlier in the year. He's fine now, but he's good. I have no idea what implications that would put. San Fran is still a resilient team. They can still win games, but Anna Fry just throws pick after pick. She's probably going to be out of the league after a few years. I mean, number 16, San Fran. I'm sorry, Anthony Ritchie, but your team is garbage.
This could be a hot take, but this team is just so hurt. So many of their good players. I got the Texans at 16. They were playing great start of the year. Then Diggs got hurt. Nico Collins was having a great year, and he got hurt. And C.J. Stroud has just kind of had, without those two guys, he hasn't really had C.J. Stroud level numbers we came to expect from him after that amazing rookie year. And his injuries just pile up, and it hasn't been a pretty brand of football since they got hurt. And the offensive line also just hasn't been good enough. When McDonald and Simon Reddick were eating last game.
I will roll the clip of Dom saying the Texans were the number 1 team coming into this year.
Flashback.
Number 4, I have the Houston Texans.
I also have the Texans at 4.
I have them 7.
I have them number 1.
I'm at 6.
No.
Yep, that's right. We're hopping on the bandwagon.
End of flashback.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Stroud's been in the sophomore slump, and their 2 best receivers are hurt, and Tank Dell hasn't really found his way into the offense the way they kind of hoped he would. But, they have potential to get back there once Nico Collins gets healthy and if Stroud can start balling again. But right now, they're 16 for me.
At 16, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. I think we brought up a lot of points. Obviously, Kenneth Walker being hurt for a good bit at the beginning of the year kind of makes his team even worse. But, they have potential. DK might come back after the bye, so I think we'll have to wait and see on him.
All right, number 15, we are getting there, folks. Just hang in there. But number 15, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think if both of their wide receivers were healthy, they would honestly be close to cracking the top 10. But Baker has been kind of like he low-key might need LASIK soon. He might need to pull a Jameis, but he's thrown a lot of picks. But without their 2 star wide receivers, I don't see how you can put them much higher than 15.
Yeah, I have the Seahawks at 15. Like John has said, they can beat anyone, but they can also lose to anyone. So I feel like a midpoint is the best place to put them, really.
At my number 15, I'm going to have to get to my former number 1 overall power ranking, the Houston Texans. And this is aged really terribly, like milk. And it wasn't really, I wasn't projecting the whole team to get injured, but, C.J. Stroud clearly is in trouble whenever he doesn't have his Pookie, Nico Collins, available. And it just kind of shows you that losing to the Jets really does a number on you. I mean, they could possibly lose their division now in Indianapolis, which would explain my further ranking of that team later on. But Houston, just because of your injuries, I'm going to have to place you this low. I'm sorry.
15, I got the Chargers here. They're playing good Jim Harbaugh football. Ladd McConkey had a great game, catching 2 touchdowns in the second half. And I like the kind of ball, the brand of football they're playing. I like it a lot. I think if Herbert can take a bigger step, which he's a great quarterback, we all understand that. But if he can take like another step, obviously that kind of hurts because they don't really have the best receivers. This team could be really good. And, I mean, Jim Harbaugh, he likes to kind of rebuild at his pace. He likes to take his time with teams. You saw with Michigan. And I feel like the division is starting to come together for him. I'm starting to see the kind of ball he wants. He gets great contributions from guys like J.K. Dobbins, who was kind of written off, but has had a great year this year. And I just like the brand of football they plays.
I didn't know this was weekly power rankings. Okay, anyways, moving on.
Weekly power rankings, Jesus. But for my 15, we're at midway point. Okay. Just double checking. I'm gonna go with the Arizona Cardinals. For me, obviously knowing what Kyler has done, and I think for Arizona, they have a lot of games that were really winnable for them. I mean, some that I'm especially looking at and obviously to kind of mention last week super quick as well, that Dolphins game and the Chargers game by back-to-back weeks is 1 and 2 points respectively. The whooping against Green Bay I think kind of left a mark on me because I'm like, okay, I really see, especially that in the Commanders game. That Commanders game was a blowout. And I'm like, okay, they're not up there with those teams, but they're not bad either, so I think kind of a good place to put them is that midway point at 15.
All right. To number 14 we go, and number 14 is where I place my darling Arizona Cardinals. I love this team. I love Kyler. Kyler's been great so far this year. Obviously, he had a perfect passer rating game. He's finally coming into his own in this offense. They finally got him at least a subpar offensive line. I think the addition over the past few years, I think Paris Johnson has been a great draft pick for this team. He's done numbers for Kyler, and he's given him enough time to be able to get out of the pocket and be able to scramble. But I love the Cardinals. They're so much fun to watch. And if Marvin Harrison gets going, he's one of the best receivers in the league on his day.
Yeah, right here, I have the Buccaneers. Offense, good. Defense, bad. I mean, and also what their coach did to Chris Godwin should be illegal in 49 states. But good thing they're playing in Florida where anything's legal. So, I mean, that was just terrible to happen. But without their top 2 players and future Hall of Famer Mike Evans, I stand by it. He should be a first ballot. And, of course, Chris Godwin, Dom's Pookie, going out for the year as well. I mean, this team is going on a downward trend. Kate Otten is having quite the year, though.
That's RJ's
That's
Pookie.
my Pookie.
Chris Godwin.
He was him. When I put him in the starting lineup, number 1 fantasy receiver.
My 14, I'd have to agree with Connor on this one. I go with Arizona. Arizona, I mean, sometimes whenever they're at full potential, they're a great football team, especially that offense. Defense, so-so. Come see, come so. But at the same time, Arizona can either put up an amazing game or they put up a terrible game. But recently, they've kind of been on the right stride here. You got Marv working in, no longer Greg Dortch anymore, so that kind of means something. Maybe we're getting a little bit more towards passing to Marv a little bit more, which I like, except if I'm playing Gabe in fantasy football, which I'm pretty sure he'll have a great game in that, but won't have a great game in any other time. And Trey McBride, I love Trey McBride on this team still. Probably, I would want to say top 4 tight end in the league right now. I mean, tight end's not really a debatable position anymore, but still, great team.
I'd say, actually, let's go over that list really quick. I'd go, right now, Bowers 1.
Kittle.
Kelsey.
Kelsey's having such a
That's
bad
rough.
year.
He's coming back into his own.
Once you get like to that,
Tyler Conklin.
He's still a top. He's
jeez.
still a top 5 tight end.
Trey McBride's up there though.
Trey McBride is
done,
definitely
he's
up
done
there.
well.
Then Njoku's sniffing the top 5.
I'd say
baby.
Njoku's there.
My 14 is Denver Broncos. This is a great defense. Zach Allen's having an all-pro type year, and I miss him so much, but John Franklin Myers has really unlocked the defensive line. And Bo Nix has been pretty good this year, in recent weeks especially. And, if he can do just enough with that defense, they might be a sneaky playoff team.
You talk about progression with Caleb Williams. Nobody has progressed better. Even Jaden Daniels. No one has progressed through the year better than Bo Nix.
I
Every
totally agree.
game, he looks better.
Good, Bo Nix.
Especially
Good.
especially because he does not have very good weapons in that team.
He does not. Cortland Sutton and what is his name? Devon
Josh Reynolds,
What
the
is
guy who got shot in the
Devon-
strip club.
Troy
Josh Reynolds.
Troy Flanken and like Devon Valley. I don't
yeah.
even know. He's the 6'5" guy.
Josh GTA Reynolds.
This is going to be a tested week for Bo. Let's see if he does well against Ravens. I honestly feel like that could be a good game.
Know what their secondary? Oh my god.
I hope he does. With my spot here at number 14, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. A lot of what I'm looking at as well is especially that I think they're starting to climb up now. I think obviously you're starting to get more healthy. That Minnesota Vikings win was huge. That's the reason why Cooper Kupp is on this roster, and I will say that pretty confidently. And, I mean, considering they face Dolphins, Patriots, and Saints in their future, they have a chance to get a good amount of wins, and I am very confident this Los Angeles Rams team will be better than they have been so far.
These next two might be slightly more of a hot take for me. 13, I have the Niners. The Niners team, this team is so hurt, and when this team is fully healthy, I would say they are easily a top 10 team. I mean, they just haven't put it together so far this year. Obviously, they're sitting at 4-4, second in the NFC West, behind you boys, Arizona Cardinals. But I do think that they have so much upside for the end of the year. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey's set to be coming back, and that is massive for this team. Jordan Mason's looked great. They found two crazy good running backs that nobody really knew much about, but the secondary has some kind of talent, but it's just hasn't meshed yet. But when it does, this team's going to be scary again.
I also have the 49ers at 13. Brock Purdy's trying to hold his own, but only Brock Purdy can do so much, and Christian McCaffrey is missed. And the defense is keeping it alive. Fred Warner is having a Fred Warner type year. There's no other way to put it. But you can't put him in the top 10 with the teams ahead of him, and I think 13 is a perfect spot for him.
I think that the perfect spot for 13 is personally the LA Rams. This whole NFC West division just kind of goes in the same category, like I said earlier. But when the Rams are fully healthy, a well-oiled machine on the offense, and they showed that when they played a good team in Minnesota, a good defense, mind you, in Minnesota. And they played well, other than that face mask call that probably should have been called at the end. Still, good team.
This is where I have the Cardinals. I love this team's ability to win close games. They've won a lot of one-score games, which to me speaks volumes to their coaching, just being a well-coached team. They have a great offense. Their defense sucks. Their defense is terrible. But they are going to get back a big piece of defense in first-round pick Darius Robinson out of Mizzou, edge rusher. He's a pretty good player. Was a pretty solid prospect, and I think he'll make him a lot better. But they're a good team and a sneaky playoff team. Pretty easy schedule coming up.
I'm the third person to have the San Francisco 49ers at 13. I think the points that both of you made have kind of been great points that kind of explain my reasoning. But I think I wouldn't be shocked if this team could climb, but I'm also not going to be shocked if they fall, because obviously that injury to McCaffrey killed their chances at least having a great season. They can still have a good season. I just think that great season's out the window.
Yeah. On to number 12. I am a little higher on this team than most of the people on this show. I've got the Denver Broncos at number 12. I think Bo Nix has been having a great year. I like the fact that everybody has been saying that he's been getting better every game, and he's just unlocking these random wide receivers, and it's really fun to watch. Their defense has been incredible out of nowhere. I thought they were going to have, and I think I might have said it on the last podcast before we went home for the summer, that Denver was going to have one of the worst defenses in the league. It got gutted, and somehow it got better. I don't understand, but 12 at the Broncos.
I have the Cardinals at 12. I mean, they've come back alive when the offense is clicking. That first game against the Bills was close, and they should have won it, so that's another loss. The ugly losses, of course, like mentioned, the Commanders is one. That one was just out the gate, just pure dominance from everyone on that squad for Washington. But I got to represent. Kyler Murray's going to be representing my team in the 2028 Olympics, for football, that is.
Korea.
So he is going to be our Korean quarterback. He will also probably be the tallest player on said team, but that's despite the point of my short kings. So I had to put Kyler Murray here. He beat the allegations. He put a good game after the release of a Call of Duty game. So I didn't think it was going to happen.
Hang the banner.
I mean, that's what I'm like. You got to hang the banner. He threw, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to Muller after a Call of Duty release? I mean, now he can celebrate by playing Call of Duty all night.
Okay, this is where it's going to start getting heated, but my number 12, I'm going to have to give it to Nick Sirianni's Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, this team is rough. If the defense stops Saquon is the heart of this team. If the defense stops Saquon, kind of like Cleveland did, then it is a slugfest. Jalen Hurts looks terrible. Anytime he plays against a good defense, mind you, good defense, he struggles. And I just do not like this team here at number 12. This is why they are at number 12. I mean, they have upside, don't get me wrong. Good run game when they play against teams like Cincinnati's terrible defense. No offense, Connor, but it makes them look good. Then we spam the push just to elevate Jalen's touchdown ratio here, and I just don't like them. Terrible coach, terrible locker room, dumpster fire. I bet you the Commanders could probably beat them. I think the D-line could stop Saquon.
We'll find out soon, baby.
We'll find out soon. My 12, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those receiver injuries suck, man. This is going to be a great year for them, and just Derrick Rose and Chris Godwin hurts a lot. And, I mean, but they're still a pretty solid team. Defense is fine. Baker's been having a career revival, but not much more to say.
Did you say Derrick Rose?
That's an
Derrick
ankle,
Rose
by
and
the way.
Well, leaving your star player in the game, an already lost game, getting hurt in the final.
Well,
2
that's
minutes.
Derrick Rose's fault for not being able to play the tough style of Tibbs' offense. 48 minutes or no minutes, buddy.
Mikal Bridges that man got nothing on Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Oh my God. At number 12, I have the Atlanta Falcons. I think they're playing up to expectations, and this isn't really a knock on them. I just think the other teams that I have above them are just better built football teams. I think it's kind of as simple as that, especially looking at their schedule. I mean, their losses, besides that Seahawks loss was tough. I will say that. It kind of drops them down a little bit for me. But, I mean, hey, you almost beat Pittsburgh in week 1. Not quite. Chris Boswell carried the Steelers to that win, by the way. But I wouldn't be shocked if this Atlanta team probably wins that division. I mean, they're stacked. They're nice.
But they got a hard competition to play against the Panthers and Saints.
Yeah, so I have them at 12.
All right, we're going to do these last couple picks fast, or at least trying to do it as fast as we can.
We get it's top 10, buddy.
It is top 10, yeah.
We're at 11, though.
We're at 11 right now. At 11, I have the Atlanta Falcons. They are one of the best road teams in the league right now. They are one of the only teams to be undefeated on the road, 3-0. Kirk has showed up in prime time, and Kyle Pitts' career has been resurrected by Mr. Kirk Cousins. Do you believe in miracles? Yes, he does. Bijan's been great so far. He obviously had a few hiccups in the first couple games, but he's really come into his own in this offense. And Darnell Mooney has been one of the best wide receiver twos in the league so far. So I think the sky's the limit for this Atlanta team.
I have the Vikings at 11. I feel like their defense came out the gate hot. Their offense came out the gate better than expected. But they've kind of gotten back down to earth, if that's fair. And their defense, that Texans game, does look very good on their schedule resume so far, making C.J. Stroud look like an idiot. But, I mean, I can't put them in the top 10 because I feel like even though Sam Darnold, we do laughs and stuff about MVP Sam Darnold, but he's taken a step back more and more as the season goes on. The defense is starting to crack, and if Jay Jettis gets hurt, you wave the white flag.
Okay, this is where it's going to get heated, and this is the second time in a row for this
God.
power ranking
my God.
that I've disrespected this team. But number 11, I'm going to have to go Kansas City. I'm sorry. There's multiple times you should have lost. You get bailed out by the refs. Your defense is good. Mahomes sucks. He throws picks. I mean, you should have lost to the Raiders last week, too. I mean, you keep it close with garbage teams, and these other teams could beat you. And I'm sick and tired of this team winning. They're undefeated, don't get me wrong, and they'll probably make the playoffs, and they'll probably get bailed out.
Probably they make the playoffs.
Probably.
Will make the playoffs, but this is a team that I have to rank below. They are not skill level on their offense with these other offenses. And in my opinion, not even top 5. I hate this team. I hate them with a passion. I'm sorry, they're going here.
They're outside the top 10.
Yes.
They're undefeated.
Wait till you see who his 10 is. I saw. Wait till you see who his 10
Oh,
is.
my 10 is good reasoning, too. I'm sorry. They're ranked here. No.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't
even
say
say it.
I've got them way higher than that.
I got the Chiefs way higher than that.
Yeah, of course you do.
At my level, I got the Chiefs beat last year's Super Bowl. I got the Niners. They're really banged up right now, but they've survived, and getting CMC back, I think also getting Dre Greenlaw back from that crazy Super Bowl ACL tear.
I forgot about that.
There's going to be a lot to that defense.
Not an ACL tear, though.
ACL?
It was
or
an
Achilles?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, it was an Achilles. I don't know if ACL or Achilles.
You could see it pop on the sideline.
It was
I
bad.
forgot which one it was. I knew it was one of the two
Oh,
big
that-
ones. But they're an injury-prone team, and they're going to get healthier. I think when they're healthy, they're really freaking good. RJ's still in shock of the Chiefs at 11.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Just wait till you see his 10. I just saw his 10.
Hide your
reasonable.
computer screen from John. man.
Yeah, hide it from now on.
Yeah, he's oh my god in it, even though it's not an oh my god, because it's too many games.
Who's your 11, RJ?
How
yeah,
many
my-
games can we count?
My 11 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they're gonna go higher. It's not higher, but I should say
worse.
lower. That's what I meant. They had a great start of the year. Baker was clicking, but I mean, you've been seeing these past couple weeks. He's been having those Baker Mayfield, Cleveland Browns force the ball interceptions, and I think that's going to continue even more. Considering I think their one right now would be Cade Otton, and he's on my fantasy. He is starting for me this week.
He's a dog.
He is a dog, though.
dog.
I am a Kate Otten enjoyer, but they're at 11.
All right, let's get into the top 10. I'm genuinely scared to hear what Dom says now.
You should be.
Oh God. At number 10, I have the Eagles. They've been great. I think Kellen Moore has started to open up the playbook a lot more, and that's insanely scary because they have two of the scariest wide receivers in the league, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. When they're both healthy, that passing attack is crazy. And Jalen Hurts can get the ball into certain tight spots that some quarterbacks can't. Jalen Hurts, I think a lot of people forget that he's a great passer. They just haven't really used him that much so far this year, and he's been great on the ground so far.
Yes, they have on the 1 yard line.
I think Saquon Barkley, if Derrick Henry wasn't having an amazing, incredible, maybe record-breaking year, he'd be the best back in the league right now.
At number 10, cracking in there, I have the Atlanta Falcons. Play the music, baby. Their offense has been hot. Darnell Mooney is actually playing football because he's actually being used in an offensive formation. The offense as a whole looks great. Their defense, it's been shaky, but we don't talk about that. The best Washington quarterback since RG3's knee took a right angle is now playing MVP level football. And God, Coco Chains can win on Monday and Thursday night. It's a good day to be a Falcons fan. I am not, but this is a must-see team to watch every day.
Let's hear it.
Why is everybody looking at me?
Let's hear it.
You know, I put Kansas City there because I'm petty, or else they would have been 10. But number 10, I have the Indianapolis Colts.
What?
Simply because they can win their division. Their division is god-awful. Texans are injured. Jacksonville, Tennessee, they're going to make the playoffs. There's a good chance. Texans are injured.
Pop the champagne. I no longer have the worst take on this podcast.
This isn't terrible. You got to look at the situation here. I mean, what? Do you think Tennessee or Jacksonville is going to come back?
This ain't about
Do you
the
think
future,
that the
Dom.
Texans
No.
This is about the playoffs.
No, it's not. It's about who's played up to this midpoint.
Playoffs and who has played up to this mid. Joe Flacco, not Anthony Richardson. Under Joe Flacco, this team is fine. And at number 11, that could have been reasonable, too.
We cannot condone
this
drugs
division.
or drinking on this podcast. We are a clean podcast that likes our people to be
All right,
as sober and sane as
After
possible.
that, I promise it's not bad. It's normal.
Yes, it is, because you've got a Colts above the Chiefs.
Yeah, because the Colts are
If the Colts
better.
played the Chiefs right now, they would lose by 45 points.
No, they wouldn't. That's an over-exaggeration. The refs would throw a flag, then call a pass interference, and then the Chiefs would be cheated out of the game. I mean, the Colts would be cheated out of the game. And then they would win because the refs would cheat them out of the game. Do you know how many games that the Chiefs have won because of that?
Like one this year.
Multiple!
What the hell?
I know who John lost the Fox job to.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
I'm so sad.
Once again, the Chiefs are terrible.
So are the Colts.
Yes! So they both
Okay,
belong.
hold on. Let me ask you a question super quick. So you are a Steelers fan. You're telling me, right? Let's hypothetically say,
He's got the Steelers at 1.
since Joe Flacco technically has not started yet,
Technically,
let's say
technically
AR-15's in there. You are still telling me you are more scared of the Colts than you are the Chiefs. I want to hear it on
No, it's
record.
because of the starting position. If AR-15 was in, he's not anymore.
Is Joe Flacco?
Tapped out.
Hold on. Is Joe Flacco better than Patrick Mahomes?
Why
did you-
not
no,
saying
I
that.
would say hesitation. Why was
This
there
year,
hesitation?
probably, yes.
That's a
What?
crazy
I'm
take.
sorry, but how many picks has Patrick Mahomes thrown this year?
Yeah, he's
How many touchdown passes has he thrown this year?
Yeah, he's also Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, but he can't win games anymore. He's shown that.
Dom, he's also got probably, I think, Xavier Worthy and Juju Smith-Schuster as his wide receivers.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
He's
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yes,
so this is why he belongs here. Look at his
and
team.
And Xavier Worthy's like bony Tyreek
You got
Hill.
the Unk squad here. What? Kareem Hunt? What?
The best kicker in the
Juju?
league, baby.
Juju?
God. All right, let's move it on.
Rashi Rice injured?
Let's move it on.
No, okay.
I got the Steelers at 10. I like what Russ has done for this team. Back-to-back 400-yard games.
I
is
think the
great.
worst take just happened.
No, it didn't.
No, it
No, it
didn't.
did
It
not.
definitely didn't, but that's kind of
That's
disrespectful.
really disrespectful.
That is
That's not as
disrespectful.
bad as Chiefs.
I mean,
on
I could see them being like.
Again, I don't think
I could see them being 8
I
for
don't
you.
think this is because the Steelers were a bad team. I think that I like teams about them a bit better. I think, but I mean, Russ has been really good for that team. I think he's going to do just enough to win with that defense, and I like how he spreads the ball around. He really gets every receiver on that team involved, which I like a lot. And I want to see what he can do more in the future. Now that he has the starting job pretty much secure.
You made it a little bit more believable. I think it's still semi-respectful or disrespectful. Excuse me. Number 10, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Connor, you slammed it right in the head. The Eagles are going to be the Eagles.
All right, let's make these last couple fast. I think
won't
we
be.
got past
Painful.
I think we got past the worst ones. Number 9, I have the Vikings. I think they're possible frauds, but they are still a top 10 team in my eyes. Darnold's been great, and the defense has been good. That's really about it.
I mean, I've got the Texans at 9. They're injured right now. C.J. Stroud looks worse and worse without Nico Collins. Now he doesn't even have Stephon Diggs. The defense is overperforming and underperforming at the same exact time, which is weird to even say. So, I mean, it's a weird team, and I think they barely cracked top 10's good place.
You know, even though this team just lost both of its 2 wide receivers, I'm going to have to give it to Tampa Bay. I mean, they still, without Chris Evans and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, they were still able to keep it close.
On the receiver core.
They were still able to keep it close to Atlanta, and that impressed me. I mean, they used Chris Otten well. They used Rashad White well.
Chris Otten?
Domus really wants to have a Chris
Kate
on that
Otten.
team.
Kate Otten, I'm sorry. I just keep saying Chris. I don't know why. Kate Otten, and then you got Rashad White. You have Bucky Irvin. They were still able to put up a fight and still, against a top 10 team, mind you, Atlanta, still put up a good game. I still feel like they can make a run here for that wild card spot, and they still are a good team under Baker Mayfield. This isn't a terrible take either. This isn't bad.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
my nine.
It's
at my
not
nine-
terrible. How's
Yes,
this?
the Chiefs being under Baker Mayfield throwing to what's his name, Jalen McMillan?
What are you
that's
talking about?
great,
Apparently,
bro.
Steve Rogers is on
okay.
this team.
So now we're comparing Jalen McMillan to Juju Smith-Schuster nowadays. Wow.
They're
You mean
both
you mean
ass.
Antonio
Yes,
Midfield?
they are, which is why they
Antonio
belong.
Mayfield.
That's like
And to Chris Mayfield.
that's like a week 15 fantasy waivers I'm gonna have. At my 9, I have the Falcons. They have a great roster and a good quarterback. That's basically it.
I'm going to keep it super quick. Number 9, the Green Bay Packers. Their defense has been really impressive. I mean, it might be a semi-hot take, but I think for Green Bay, I mean, almost losing to Jacksonville kind of says something to me. But still, this team has a decent future, and I think they will do pretty good this season.
RJ and I seem to be pretty congruent with our picks. At number 8, I have the Green Bay Packers. J-Love hasn't been great so far this year. He also hasn't been bad. This Packers team has been pretty good so far. I mean, 6-2, and they're pretty good. That says a lot about this team. But Josh Jacobs has been a great pickup. Tucker Kraft might be one of the most reliable tight ends in the league. And Xavier McKinney leads the league in picks. He's been great.
Yeah, I think Dom's foreshadowed a bit for me. I have the Steelers at 8. They're having a Steelers-type season, beating the teams they should be, losing against the teams they shouldn't win against, and they're playing very average schedule. So far, the schedule is about to pick up, and I don't know if their squad can hold and win those games. They might fare well because it's a Steelers game, so if Chris Boswell isn't going 6 for 6, there must be something wrong, and if the Steelers aren't going 9-8, there also must be something wrong. So here comes the losing.
At number 8, Gabe, I'm sorry, but this is the lowest I could rank your team. Number 8, I had to put the Washington Commanders. Don't get me wrong, great team. I love Jaden Daniels. Your D-line, really good.
Without Jonathan Allen.
Yes, really good.
Do you know who's on our D-line? Cleveland Farrell.
Oh my!
He is our
He's
starting.
still in the league?
He's our starting
He's not
defensive
starting
end.
for the San Antonio Brahmas.
No, he's starting for the Washington Commanders.
The problem with you guys kind of remind me a lot of WVU. You have a great defensive line, but the secondary, it's not that great, and that's why you guys suffer a little
Fun
bit.
fact, Noah Igbenogany is top 20 in every single quarterback rating.
What?
I kid you freaking not.
He's been pretty good.
I mean, I'm
It's
talking
weird.
Emmanuel Forbes
Joe Witt
perspective.
has put some voodoo on our team to have Noah Igbenogany as a 73
God.
overall.
God.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to take away the division this year. Unless Philly gets on a hot streak, but I'm pretty sure you guys have it. But overall, great team.
And I got the Vikings. I'm going to give them their flowers. That defense has cooked this year. And Sam Darnold is kind of just game managing this team to a pretty solid record. And even though they've regressed, it's still a pretty good team that deserves their credit for what they've done this year and really pulled through a great year.
At 8, I have the Houston Texans, but this will be going down, obviously, as Diggs being hurt really kills them, and obviously their performance against the Jets, like we've seen. I think a very winnable game. They just didn't win. I think overall their offense sputtered. I think C.J. Stroud is having his coming back to earth year, but I have the Texans at 8.
Man, RJ and I are one off on every other pick. I've got the Texans at 7. Top of their division pretty handily, and Stroud hasn't looked great this year. But you know who has looked great? Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has been great when he's been playing for them. And Nico Collins is set to return soon. Will Anderson, obviously, he got hurt last night. I was not aware of this, but Will Anderson has really come into his own. He's been great for this defensive line. And I think they made a good pickup in the offseason with Kamari Lassiter coming out of the draft. I think he's one of my favorite players coming out of the draft. Obviously, he got toasted last night by Garrett Wilson.
He's one of my favorite players, too, because Garrett Wilson just turned that man into a screensaver. So
yeah, that was not the – that's you don't want to be on that side of history. But this Texans team, honestly, they haven't been playing up to their standards. They're hurt a lot, but when they're not hurt, sky's the limit.
I have the Philadelphia Eagles at 7. I think this is the highest you can put them with everyone in front. They are, and I quote, but this is my quote. They are about 6 YMCA handshakes away from not being 5 wins because the way they grab an is the only reason they are in this position. So I have to go. This defense has not lived up to par, and their coaching has been terrible. When Saquon is given the ball, the team wins. When they rely on whatever the heck Jalen Hurts is in the passing game, they lose. I mean, you'd think you'd figure this out, but I don't think they can crack higher than where I've put them.
At number 7, I'm going to have to put my own team, the Pittsburgh Steelers here. I mean, the defense seems to every week find a way for our team to win, and the special teams have been really well, returning kicks for touchdowns and blocking field goals. But our problem is our secondary, and if we go against an elite wide receiver core, then it's really bad. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Every team.
Well, I mean, an elite wide receiving core. We seem to do very bad against that. I don't know why that happens, but Russ has played well. This team, I don't know really, because like you said, Gabe, the schedule's about to get really difficult after the bye. Specifically, the first real challenge is Washington, which I'm kind of excited to see
At
that game.
FedEx, baby.
I kind of expect us to lose that game.
You know someone's tearing an ACL, but I could not tell you for whose team.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, 7 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Same I got the Commanders. I love Jaden Daniels. I love what Dan Quinn's done for that team. I'm just nervous that the bad secondary is going to come back and bite them at some point.
Oh, yeah. Number 7, I have – wait, no. Yeah, we're at 7.
Yeah.
Or 7, yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings. I love their defense. Love what Brian Flores is doing. He should be a head coach. And I am specifically looking at – never mind. I won't say the Giants. That defense would be 10 times better with him there. Anyway, Minnesota doing a really good job. I think Sam Darnold, yes, coming back to earth, but still that defense can kind of allow him to have that and still win games.
All right, number 6. We are so close to the top 5. I think this team has a lot of potential to crack into the top 5 at some point. They have been lights out, and they are ruling their division with an iron fist, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen has been Josh Allen.
That's kind of low.
Yeah, It's just the fact that they've been a little shaky.
I mean,
Allen hasn't
they're
been.
playing Bills ball.
They're playing Bills ball, and Bills ball I don't believe is top 5. I just don't. They're right outside the top 5 for me.
I can respect that.
Yeah, but once Amari Cooper gets integrated into this offense, I think him and Shakir are going to be 2 of the best wide receiver tandems in the league. I'm really high on Khalil Shakir. He's been great. And I think they have the best tight end duo in the league.
I like Keon Coleman as well. He's been improving a lot throughout the weeks.
Yeah, but I think with Kincaid and Knox, the sky's the limit for those 2 tight end sets for them. James Cook has been amazing so far this year. He's coming off a great game. sky's the limit for this Bills team.
I have the Packers here, and it's mostly because, yes, their defense has been incredible. Xavier McKinney, if he is not in DPOY conversations, you don't know ball. I mean, he has been incredible to watch. I mean, it comes down to Jordan Love. Honestly, the defense was a problem last year. They fixed that. And now it comes down to, will Jordan Love be Brett Favre? There's no other way. Will he get the touchdowns or will he get the interceptions? And so far, they've lost games because of his interceptions, but they've won games because of his touchdowns. So I don't think they can crack top 5 just yet, like everyone else here pretty much. But I think that moving forward is the top 5 teams for me are set. I don't think anyone's better than these top 5 teams, and it's not even close. There's a big gap for me.
Number 6, I'm going to have to agree with you, Gabe. I went with the Green Bay Packers here. I mean, a very, very well-coached team. If Matt LaFleur can have Malik Willis win games, then he deserves some props there. And they keep their games relatively close, which is why they don't crack that top 5 yet. Really good team. And they'll impress me a little bit more if they're able to beat Detroit this week, because that's kind of for the number 1 in the NFC.
I mean, at 6, I got the Eagles a bit higher to see than most of you guys. I just think the ceiling is a lot higher than a lot of these other teams because they've been banged up. A.J. Brown, I think, and Con said you thought Saquon's the hardest team. I think A.J. Brown's the heart of this team. I think he's what elevates that team to a true contender, and he's been hurt and banged up, and so has Devontae Smith, and Goddard's been hurt too. But once they all can get healthy and well rested up for a playoff run, I think the sky's the limit. And I just don't, I'm a bit scared of Nick Sirianni because he's kind of just been, I had a rocky past few years as a coach ever since that Super Bowl loss. But I really like the ceiling of this team. I think the 2 rookie cornerbacks have been playing some great football these past few weeks.
At number 6, I have the Washington Commanders, and I have them really high. They're a really great football team. But I'm envisioning that eventually down this line, and I'm looking at their schedule here. I mean, you have good defenses like the Giants, Steelers. I wouldn't say the Eagles have a good defense, and then Mike would be back for Dallas, so there's going to be a little bit better. I just see it. There's going to be an eventual slump. I mean, there's going to be a roadblock that's going to happen in your season.
It's going to be Daniels.
Yeah.
He's going to come down back to earth at one point.
Yeah, that's really why I have him here, but they have a lot of potential, and I'm really excited for this Washington team.
All right, finally, we have reached the top 5. Again, like Gabe said, I don't think there's much to go. There's one team that I think could crack into this top 5, and it's the Bills that I just said, but I think the top 5 is pretty set right now. I got the Steelers at number 5. They have been absolutely phenomenal so far this season. I think if Fields still starts, they're lower. I think Russ has really elevated the ceiling for this team. He's been great. He's unlocked the wide receivers, and it's been great to watch. As much as I don't like the Steelers, it's been great to watch these wide receivers get into their own, and obviously this Pittsburgh defense is not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Bills at 5. I think the only glaring error on their schedule is, of course, Baltimore. But that's the game that the Ravens figured out that read option is the way to go. And so the Bills were not entirely, it's hate to say it, but weren't entirely prepared for that because no one else has seen it. And they were the first to witness Derrick Henry being Derrick Henry. But with the Amari Cooper trade, giving them a solidified number 1 wide receiver now. The addition of he can teach Keon Coleman a few tricks here and there. Maybe if Cooper gets back into prime Amari form, this team can go all the way. And James Cook is having a Pro Bowl solidified season. I feel like this is a perfect spot for them. And the grass is only getting greener because their division is garbage.
For number 5, I had to go with the Atlanta Falcons simply because whenever they are at their full potential, they are a great football team. We got to look at the 500-yard game against Tampa Bay. You also got to look like that it's a well-complemented football team with their defense and offense. And you have whenever Drake London, Raven McCall, and Darnell Mooney, Bijan Robinson, Ty Algier play well, this is a great football team.
So when their entire offense plays well, they're a great football team. That's all I heard.
I think that's every football team.
Okay. You know, I'm done.
Dom can't take the heat right now. At 5, I got the Packers. I gave him a few spots just because they're so well coached. I mean, Malik Willis was about to be a UFL legend if he didn't get traded to Mike LaFleur's team at the last minute this year and then wins 2 starts at least, might have been 3. And they're 6-2, and Jordan Love is playing not his best football. And once he can kind of limit those turnovers, I think they'll be an amazing team and a hard team to stop in the playoffs.
Who's this Mike LaFleur guy you speak of?
How dare you disrespect?
Oh, Matt LaFleur. I'm sorry.
How
Mike
dare
LaFleur
you?
has some bad memories.
How dare you disrespect Washington legend and one of 8 people on that coaching staff?
Michael LaFleur. LaFleur.
Mike LaFleur.
At number 5, I'm going to have to go with the Baltimore Ravens. Last week showed me a lot, especially from how Lamar still can't get over good defenses. I'm going to say it. That is this team's biggest knock. And I even say the Baltimore Ravens' second half defense, that's a problem. I mean, you even saw when they were blowing out Dallas almost won that game. I'm just going to put it out there. And obviously, losses of the Browns and the Raiders do not help. And looking at the schedule, they play a couple good defenses in the next few weeks in Denver and Pittsburgh. So Baltimore's at 5 for me, but it could be a little bit higher if Lamar can get over that hump.
Yeah, I've got Baltimore at 4. They have potential to be top 3, maybe even 2 or 1 at this point. I think 1 is kind of set in stone without a doubt in my mind, but the Ravens are a very solid team. The Lamar and Derrick Henry experiment has passed with flying colors so far, but like RJ said, Lamar just can't seem to get over the hump of getting over those good defenses, but once he does, this team's unstoppable. And there's not really much else to say.
Yeah, at number 4, I do have the Baltimore Ravens. Their defense is horrific in the secondary. They've had some great wins. They're about 3 inches short from beating the still undefeated Chiefs. And I feel like Lamar Jackson, like you said, he's been MVP level at times, but then he just makes throws. Like, he missed a wide open Zay Flowers in that Browns game. And the receiving for this team, Rashad Bateman is just not it. It looks like this year he takes 1 step forward, makes a good play, 2 steps back. It's an awful job.
I think he might have lost his job with some recent trades.
He definitely did. There's no way you don't play Johnson.
Johnson's what you thought Rashad Bateman was going to be like at his peak.
But they got another receiver that's known for dropping passes. So I don't know how much that's going to really elevate them. He'll make some big plays, don't get me wrong, but there's going to be those other plays that we need a catch, and he's going to drop it.
Yeah, they still view Bateman as a 2, as funny as that is, which is really interesting to me.
So yeah, that's why I have the Ravens, and they're a weird team at 5 and 3. So you can't really put them top 3. Like Connor has them at 4 as well. So I feel like that has to be the play.
My number 4, I'm going to have to give it to the Minnesota Vikings. I know they have lost the past 2 of their games, but their defense is great under Brian Flores. You gotta consider too that they kept it close with probably everybody's. I'm not going to say that, but they kept it close with a really Minnesota
kept it really well.
They kept it really close with Detroit, that impressed me. I honestly thought Detroit was going to mop the floor with them. But they've held themselves accountable. I just feel like they're in a little bit of a rut right now, but I feel like Minnesota still was, even though it's Sam Darnold, I feel like they're a really well put together football team here.
Who did Minnesota keep it close against? Minnesota! According to Don Brusco. At 4, I got the Bills. I mean, they're playing Bills ball, I said earlier. They're just kind of living on the edge, living really close, tiptoeing past the fire. But I do love how Josh Allen has played this year in terms of just limiting picks. That was so long his issue. He's having maybe his most protective of the football season ever in his career, and that's really great, especially to come handed down the stretch in this playoff race.
My 4 and 3 are very interchangeable, but I'm going to keep it how I have it. I'm going to have the Buffalo Bills at 4. Obviously, yes, we've said playing Bills ball. Josh Allen finally has a running back. I think that's very huge.
He does.
For this Baltimore Buffalo offense. I really think, though, the question mark's going to come down to that defense. How will they play against the good teams?
And I'll say they don't have just a running back in James Cook. They have an offensive coordinator who can work that running back into a great role on this team in Joe Brady.
That also really helps.
Yeah. All right, finally, we're into the top 3. I don't really think there's much debate, in my opinion, here. Number 3, and I know Gabe's going to love me, I have the Washington Commanders at number 3. I love the offseason pickups. With time, this defense will become great, but I think the main catalyst of this defense, not even just on the field, but off the field, has been Bobby Wagner. He's really elevated this defense. He's kind of like the, and I know to put it in John terms, he's kind of like the Judge or the, basically like the Derek Jeter. He's that captain guy. He brings that sort of leadership that you need, and he's been great for the young guys. He's going to bring out the best in Luvu and Jeremy Chin. He's going to bring out the best in guys like Mike Sainer still as well. It doesn't even matter if they're not linebackers.
He's the glue of that defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the glue of that defense he's a part of, really.
Glue guy. And the one thing that I have written down here is Daniels is the very clear favorite for Rookie of the Year. And possibly MVP. He could get up there if he keeps playing at this
I
rate.
think a lot of us thought he was going to miss some time because of the injury. He missed no time and came back in with the highlight play of his career so far.
Yeah, I've got number 3. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. I think I'm the first one other than whatever the Dom said. I mean,
They don't deserve to
but
be there.
I've got them at 3. The only reason I've put the 2 ahead of them, 1, I think it should be the undisputed number 1. No one is touching that team. They're light years ahead of everyone so far this season. Number 2 team, I have to put them. But at number 3, the Chiefs, because the Chiefs are undefeated with Patrick Mahomes throwing more interceptions than touchdowns, without Rashee Rice for half the year, and Xavier Worthy showing up for 1 game, which was the season opener. And Mahomes playing bad, and they're still undefeated. It's Andy Reid masterclass throughout the year. Their defense is, at very least, top 3. I mean, this is a well put together squad, and if Patrick Mahomes can figure it out, or if Xavier Worthy can figure this thing out called route running, they could actually be a good team. And they just got a number 1 wide receiver in the trade just before the trade deadline.
DeAndre Hopkins, yeah. Tom, we got
Number 3, I have the Buffalo Bills. I love the Buffalo Bills. And recently, all of the young players on the Buffalo Bills have become a major contribution. Take, for example, Keon Coleman, as I've talked about earlier. He had a great week last week, as well as Khalil Shakir, as well as Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's kind of old, not young, but great addition to the Bills team. James Cook, he cooks. What's their secondary is pretty good. I forget his name, but he's a great running back in suit whenever James Cook was out. But I feel like
Ray
this
Davis?
is
Their
Ray
secondary
Davis.
is pretty good with that running back.
Oh, did I hear that?
But he's pretty well. I just feel like this Buffalo team has gone above expectations this year. They're a great choice. They're obviously going to win their division. This division's garbage, booty cheeks. But yeah, great team.
I got the Ravens at 3. I mean, there are legitimate question marks this team.
John, you mind putting that mic up to your mouth so they can pick up on the thingy,
Sorry.
Bobber?
I have the Ravens at 3. They have 2 really questionable losses to the Raiders and Browns.
I hope that
and
that's
there are some legit questions about this team, like Lamar's ability to beat a good defense. But I don't think there's a scarier sight in the NFL right now than a Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson read option. That's going to wreak havoc on defenses. And this might be the best offense in the league. Now they have a new receiver in Deontay Johnson who they're going to find a way to utilize. So
What's going to wreak havoc on them is a good defense. Anyway, at number 3, I loved Gabe's take. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, them being this high is because it's Mahomes being with what he has and somewhat trying to make it work. Compared to other years, though, this is his worst year. I mean, I'm going to be flat out honest. But that defense is not bad. And I'm going to keep that out there. And I really think that for Kansas City, they're 7-0. They're controlling their business. You can't really outrank them too much far past 1.
Yeah. And getting into number 2, I personally hope that everyone should have the same number 1. I know that's probably not the case. I know
it really is in this podcast.
We're on pace for
I
it, though.
think it might be.
We
We're
are
on pace for
I
it.
don't think it's going to be. I feel like there's going to be one outlier. Number 2, I have the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs have been one of the best teams in football. Obviously, despite Dylan Raiola's turnover problem. Sorry, I mean Patrick Mahomes. He's played like Dylan Raiola. He's played like a college quarterback so far this year. He's not been good. He has not played up to Patrick Mahomes' standards, and it feels like he just won the other MVPs and the other Super Bowls, and he's just like, I'll let the rest of the offense take care of this one. But the run game has been great for Kansas City despite the loss of Pacheco. The defense has been great, and I don't know how they keep getting their defense to be so good every year. I really don't get it.
You know what it is? It's Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they lucked into him because he was already a head coach and didn't really do good, so you can't really poach him away. But he's been there for quite a while now. He's been for all Super Bowl rings, and just having that consistency is amazing.
And it's just, who the hell let them get Trent McDuffie? Who the hell let that happen?
Like 25 teams probably.
Yeah.
I've got the Washington Commanders at 2.
Oh my God, the glaze is crazy.
It is the glaze, and I'll tell you why. Get the Krispy Kreme ready and put up the highlight reel, because I'm about to ESPN more than LeBron James does on them. So, let's go right now. The only 2 losses, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers opened a year, and it was an ugly loss. I'll give it to it. And then the only other loss was against Baltimore Ravens, where we lost Jonathan Allen midway through the game. So Dorian Mathis was playing defensive end, a guy who shared the same stat line with DeMar Hamlin, and played 10 times the snaps, and as well as we didn't have B-Rob, 50 Cent, Mini Min. We didn't have them in the game. So it was still a close game. John is just mad because this is what his team was supposed to be. But this team is good. The defense, of course, is the outlier, but that Ravens secondary is also dog shit, and I put them in top 5. So right now, I feel like Washington is in prime condition at the number 2 spot. This will not age well, and they will drop because Jaden Daniels is going to hit. It happens to every rookie quarterback.
They hit a ceiling.
They hit a roadblock. They cap out. They plateau. It's going to happen. But
Dan Quinn has done amazing things.
Dan Quinn has done
defense.
so well. And you look at the secondary being led by Benjamin St. Juice, Emmanuel Forbes, who's now benched actually, and Noah Igbenogany, and they're a top 15 defense in over half the categories somehow. That's impressive. And they've had some big-time wins and big-time games, and they've gotten it done, but they're not even touching this number 1 for me.
My number 2 would have to go to the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they had a little bit of a hiccup there with I wouldn't really count last week. I mean, there was some basic mistakes to why they lost that Browns game. Rashad Bateman. Kyle Hamilton. But great game by Jameis, by the way, RJ. I know. They lost. They deserved to lose that game, but like it was just a little bit of a fluke for Baltimore. They'll come back strong this week. Don't worry, they'll probably retake the AFC North again over the Steelers because we have a bye. I think that should give them the division again if they win. I don't know how. I forget how that works. If they win and we have a bye,
It's division wins, baby.
Oh, it is?
It would have been Baltimore because Pittsburgh hasn't played one yet.
Oh,
I
think it is
think
Baltimore.
so.
That's pretty weird.
because they
That's
beat the
what makes it
Bengals. They beat the
confusing.
Bengals. So yep, it would be.
I got
Baltimore.
the Chiefs at 2. I mean, this team has really evolved itself. I mean,
What,
first
with
Super
penalty
Bowl,
flags? Yeah, that's why I don't judge a football team like that.
I really hope the Colts and the Chiefs play at like the first round of the playoffs. I just want to see how badly the Colts lose. But
You got to judge it by the football team, not
But they've
the refs.
really evolved from a high-powered offensive team. Obviously, that first ring when you had prime Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill just running wild over there. They've kind of evolved into more of a defensive stronghold with that team. With guys like Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie just playing amazing and just ball control defensive football. It's not very fun to watch, but it works. And
Yes.
they're undefeated right now, and Patrick Mahomes isn't even playing his best football.
Yes, I didn't know winning by 7 points against the Raiders was so great, but yeah, sure.
Well, congratulations, gentlemen. We have a consensus number 1. I'm getting out of the way right now. I hate doing this, and I hate saying
Do not up the graphic.
I love
No,
this.
the graphic is not.
Okay.
My mind is for doing this. At number 2, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That brought RJ Payne to say.
This really hurts me, but I'm going to be honest. That defense is really good and can wreak havoc on any quarterback. And whether it's Russell or Justin, they can make those receivers semi-do something. And I think for Pittsburgh, that's all they need. They need a game manager for them to win games. I think Russell can even do a little bit more than that. But it's soon to be determined. I hate myself for that. Let's move on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time and probably only time you will ever hear this from the Starting the Pot podcast. We have a consensus number 1 team in the NFL, and it's the Detroit Lions.
So deserved.
Yeah,
so
and I mean,
earned.
when you think about this Lions team, they legitimately have the potential to get the MVP and the Defensive Player in the Year.
Oh, MVP, huh? MVP, huh? Last week,
Potential.
MVP, huh?
Potential.
Wow. That's
We
a
have
big
good
potential.
vibes now. We have good vibes now.
I bet you if the Chiefs lost this week, you dropped them as well, but... Yeah.
Yes, we'd have
Yes,
to
we
because
would.
they lost.
If they-
Oh, I thought we were going off of football teams, not record.
Guys,
Wait a
when a
minute.
team loses, they drop in the power rankings.
Wait a minute. I
Jeez.
thought we weren't going off a record in football team power here. What? Hold
Yeah.
up a
We're
minute.
not because if we were going off record, Kansas City would be number 1.
Holy
Yeah.
soundbar.
Huh, wait a minute. That's strange. But all I can say about Detroit is Jared Goff. Jared Goff. Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
And I mean, when you think about it, this Detroit team had potential to have 2 defensive players of the year. If Aiden Hutchinson didn't get hurt, I think he'd be a runaway favorite.
But right now, noticed him being hurt because they've just been so well coached.
But Brian Branch,
You know, it's a fun stat, though, that I heard the other day. Every team that has lost to the Detroit Lions has gone on to lose the next week. That is every team that they have played. So you're basically getting handed 2 L's instead of 1. It's Detroit Lions effect. And Dan Campbell has put his attitude on the players. I mean, they've got the grit. They kick you in the teeth, like he said in his interview whenever he initially got the job. They'll kick you in the teeth. They'll chew your kneecaps off, and they'll do whatever they can to get that win. I love Detroit. I love watching them play. They deserve this number 1 spot. They've been a terrible team 4 years ago, but they've completely turned their program around. Good job, Detroit.
And it's not one unit carrying the other. The offense has been great. Jared Goff, what was it, like 6 for 8 with like 50 yards and still won the game by 4 scores. The defense has been incredible even without Hutchinson, with rookie corners pretty much, a young core, and it's complete. This team has everything you need. They got vets, young players, offense, defense, special teams even. And God, I mean, the only minus I can take away from this team is that Jamison Williams can't stop gambling.
And doing PDs.
And they're doing PDs.
I mean, getting arrested.
This is kind of like what every high school football coach would want. They want players to pick each other up and care about each other, and no matter what, make sure that they win. And that's what they do. That's what Detroit is about.
Tennessee will be getting another loss because Detroit beat Tennessee last week, so they will be getting a loss.
Yes, they will. All right, that will do it for us. Sorry this one was so long and drawn out, but it's our power rankings. So if you made it to the end of this episode, we thank you very much. And make sure to tune in next week when we have more probably heinous takes.
And a lot less minutes.
I'm very sorry, Gabe Schoen.
And a lot less edits.
Yes. This is Quackzilla signing off. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Stirring the Pot. Peace.
See ya.